We've all been there before, gone to the grocery store, picked up some salad rolls. They're fresh, they're tasty, they're pretty healthy for you. It should be simple, but
have you looked at the price? $4 for one? What a ripoff! Hard to open. I almost lost a finger. SOS, this sauce obviously sucks. Gross! This cling wrap was so clingy I was sweating when I was finished with it. Look at this. Is it supposed to do this? I don't even know if this is safe to eat. Bland, rubbery, and expensive.
Watching CWC may cause you to have the following common side effects. Getting food from the grocery store, buying to cook at home, thinking other people's food sucks, and feeling that I can make it better at home.
we now return to your regularly scheduled programming. You guys already know we can do way better. Our grocery list isn't too long for these. We're starting with some round rice paper about 9-inch in diameter, some thin vermicelli noodles, about a pound worth of raw prawns, some fresh veggies, cucumber, carrot, and mint, and then an assortment of condiments from the pantry for our peanut sauce, starting with some dry roasted peanuts, sesame oil, black Chinese vinegar, dark soy sauce, hoisin sauce, and we can't forget the peanut butter. These are some extra large frozen raw Argentinian prawns. I've had them soaking in cold water for about 20 minutes to make it easier to peel. I'm peeling, deveining, and removing the tails before adding them into a pot of boiling water. This is going to poach them, and it's going to be a pretty quick process. We only want them in the water for about 5 minutes. Straight from the boiling water into a bowl of cold water they go. This is going to bring them back down to a manageable temperature for when we roll them, and then we can get started on our peanut dipping sauce. We're starting with about a half a cup worth of smooth peanut butter, followed by 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce, and then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm using dark soy sauce here. I like it better for sauces. It's a little bit of a richer, bolder flavor, but if you just have regular light soy sauce, that's fine too. And then 2 teaspoons of black Chinese vinegar. If you don't have this and you're substituting white vinegar, maybe just go with 1 teaspoon as it's a lot more acidic. And then about a teaspoon of sesame oil and a tablespoon of chili garlic. Lastly, I'm microplaning in 1 whole clove of garlic. Give everything a quick mix, and then 1 tablespoon at a time I'm adding in some warm water and mixing to get to my desired viscosity. For this one I ended up using 3 tablespoons of water to get this semi-thick but still sauce consistency. Give it a test with a piece of cucumber or carrot, check for the spiciness levels, adjust if necessary. Mine's all good, so we can start on the veggies for the inside of our salad rolls. I'm starting by julienning about a cup's worth of carrot, and then about the same amount of cucumber. But instead of julienning these, as sometimes that ends up being a little bit soggy, I'm first slicing it into planks, and then cutting each plank into sticks that are all about 6 inches long, which is going to be the length of my salad roll. This is going to give our actual salad roll a little more structure when we're completing the rolling process. After we finished our cucumber, our last veggie is some fresh mint, and for it we are just pulling off full individual leaves. We don't want to do any slicing here, as the full leaves look really nice through the rice paper. Lastly, we're crushing some of our dry roasted peanuts, as this is going to add another layer of crunch inside our salad rolls. Set up a large strainer inside of a large heat-proof bowl, and then I'm pulling out 1 bundle of vermicelli noodles and just pouring boiling water on top of it. You don't actually need to boil these noodles in a pot, as they cook really quickly, and just pouring some boiling water on top and then moving around with a wooden spoon is more than enough to soften them right up to about this consistency after no more than a minute or 2. As soon as they have reached that point, we want to stop the cooking process by pouring out that hot water, filling the bowl up with cold water, and then dunking our noodles back in and leaving them there until we're ready to start rolling. Because I'm using extra large prawns, I'm cutting them in half horizontally. It's still going to be plenty of shrimp in our rolls, but a little more manageable for the actual rolling process. To prepare our rice paper, we need a shallow container that is about large enough to fit a sheet of paper inside, and then we are pouring some near boiling water into the bottom of it. This is about 145, 150 degrees. After we have about 1 inch of water in, we're just dunking the rice paper quickly on one side, flipping it over to the other side. It's still going to feel fairly firm, put it down on your cutting board, and as we go through the filling process, it will finish softening up. I'm starting with some mint leaves, making sure to put the pretty side down so those show up through our paper, and then 3 or 4 shrimp pieces, leaving about an inch of space at the top and the bottom of the roll, but putting this roll right down the middle. A couple of small bundles of our cooked vermicelli noodles on top, then a couple of the planks of my cucumber, a handful of the julienned carrots, a sprinkle of the peanuts, and then we're kind of going burrito style here. I'm pulling up from the bottom. This paper is fairly stretchy at this point, and then down from the top to cover our ends, and then it might even help to rotate to the side of the cutting board, pulling one side over and using my fingers after I have that first part over to kind of pull back on my ingredients. Again, there's a lot of stretch here, and starting the slow rolling process. Careful that we're not pulling too hard, as we don't want to rip the paper, but we also don't want to wrap it too loosely that it ends up unstructured and just kind of like a rice baggie full of some vegetables. Not really what we're going for. I'll show you the process one more time here and talk about some common errors that people might run into. We don't want to over soak the rice paper, ends up being too sticky and too hard to actually complete the rolling process. Overfilling the rolls is another common one, because then when you're trying to complete the rolling process, it just breaks through the paper or the ends. And then finally, just not having that slow controlled roll is where we're going to end up either tearing it or being too afraid and going too loose and not ending up with the nice round roll. Plating is as simple as a few spoonfuls of our peanut sauce, a little dash of chili garlic, and a sprinkle of peanuts on top, and then a stack of our salad rolls. Let's take a look. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you stop buying this junk from the grocery store. These are so good, and once you get the hang of it, pretty quick to make. The only thing we really cooked was the shrimp for 5 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with a friend. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. That's what's really motivating me to keep making these videos. See you guys in the next one.